everyone, it's Coach Satira. Today I just wanted to do a quick little note and talk to you about some very, very important topics, and that's money, life lessons, and pride. Okay, so I guess just to kind of go into a little bit of a background about myself, I was taught at a very young age that when you don't have a whole lot of money, you can't buy everything that you want, right? You have to work for it and you have to earn it. And so even as a kid, I remember doing lots of chores around the house and getting an allowance. And then if I wanted, let's say, that Nike jacket or like the Nike shoes or whatever, because I've always liked that brand and was big into basketball, that I would have to save up my allowance and buy it myself, right? Because a lot of the times when we were kids, we would get like the hand-me-downs, and if that wasn't good enough, then we had to work for it, right? And so fast forward a little bit, I remember by the age of 11, I had my first job, believe it or not, delivering for the Winnipeg Free Press. This was before the 2003 child labor laws came into effect and stuff, so you can imagine how old I am. Anyway, and then by 12, I had my first waitressing job at Peddins out by Broadlands and getting my T4s and all that stuff. And I've basically been working for the last 18 years straight since then. I think maybe there was at one point 3 months off, max 6. But I've always had a job. I've always worked my butt off to be able to pay my bills. I had my first car, cash, at 15 and a half. It wasn't the best car, but it was still wheels to get me back into town and stuff, right? And then from there I could upgrade, and from there I could upgrade, and from there I could upgrade. To being able to buy a brand new car as an adult and have perfect credit and all that fun stuff, right? So it is really important for myself to have those values and to keep on with them. And there was one point twice in my life where I was going through school and I had either 1 or 2 jobs and I was trying to pay for like my car loan and my car insurance and rent and all that stuff, and it got to the point where I couldn't afford to buy food, right? And I have used food banks, and I'm glad I did, because coming into the field that I'm in and thinking about some of my previous jobs where I had to take the families to the food banks to get food, like I never ever looked down on them. I never thought, like, why are you doing this? Like, you get a check, why don't you go buy food? Because I understand where it's coming from, right? I've been there. And I think the biggest thing about really having true empathy is to have that life experience yourself too, and to know how hard things can get, right? And looking at all your different priorities and budgeting and all that fun stuff. And today, well actually yesterday, marked the 2 months since I was let go from my last job, and it hit me hard again, not just from the pride of losing my first job, but also looking back onto my timeline and realizing that throughout most of my adulthood, I had to work 2 to 3 jobs to pay for school, to get me through it, and to pay for my house and pay for my car and pay for all that other stuff that I have. And I'm very, very, very blessed. I'm so blessed, and I'm so happy and appreciative that I have a roof over my head. I have a car I can drive. You know what I mean? Like, I have food in the cupboards and in the freezer. And that's all I really actually need, right? The basic necessities to survive, because that's what I've been taught my whole life, and that's the basics. And I realized when I was at this old job, I had paid for my final, I think it was like $3,000 for practicum or something, right? And my practicum was done, I was working full time. I was finally getting some income. I've always been a very good budgeter and saver. So all my bills were paid. Everything was good. The only thing I really had to pay for was like my mortgage and my car insurance and my car loan and stuff like that, right? But I had no credit card debt. I had no debt at all. No school debt. I came out fresh, clean. It felt so good. And then I started to get the paychecks. And I can be honest, this was the highest paying job I've ever had. It paid me better than my 3 jobs combined, to be honest. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I had a couple extra $100 every check, and I started to get greedy, right? And I started, like, I did save, which thank God, or I'd be screwed right now, but I did spend a lot more money than I needed to. I was eating out more, I was getting my nails done more, I was getting my hair done more, you know, I was like taking people out for food and for coffees and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's fine, I have money, I don't care, you know, like I spent a lot of money on advertisement and marketing for my coaching business because I really wanted to get it out there and to expand it, and I don't regret that for a minute, right? And I would think every day, what new thing can I buy to give to like my challengers in my challenge groups, because they're working their butt off hard, right? They are working really hard. They have requirements of like needing to post every day, needing to get to their workouts in, you know, having to check in, all that stuff, and extras. And you think, well, they should be doing that on their own. Yeah, but I believe if you're going to work really hard at something, if I can give you some sort of reward, even if it's a small one, even if it's all that I can afford, then I'm going to do that, right? And so we were having some of the money talks this weekend, and I guess this last month I was kind of in denial and thinking that, oh, I'm going to be back in work soon, it's fine, that, oh, my EI was going to kick in, and I've been working 18 years, so for me to be on this, like at first I was like, well, I don't want help. I don't want to take money from anyone, right? Like I have pride. I want to do it on my own. And then I thought, I've been paying into this for 18 years. Yeah, I'm fine if I have to take a little bit back. Whatever. I've basically paid for it, right? But then now that it's kicked in, I'm kind of like, oh crap. This only lasts for like 6 months, right? And because I'm having so many barriers with employment, because I can't get registered, because I don't qualify, like reality is hitting me really hard, and I was kind of freaking out this morning. And then I was also thinking about how we're going to Nashville, which is all paid for, right? So it's not like a minus for me in any way. But then I was also thinking about, like, ironically, my first thought was, what can I buy from the store to bring back for my challengers that they could win in the challenge group, right? And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that, but I really want to. So I'm like, okay, how can I make this work, right? And I need to, for the first time ever, go back into that budgeting mindset and that saving mindset and get whatever kind of help I can. And thank you, Mom, for buying too much chicken and burgers and giving me some yesterday. I really appreciate it. But then I was thinking fruits and vegetables and stuff, right? And like we have a mini garden, but it's not really coming out or anything, right? And so then I'm like, crap, like fresh fruit and vegetables is expensive. It's not cheap. But then I'm like, my health is worth so much to me now. Whereas before I wouldn't care. And like last week I did have hamburger helpers and stuff. I was going back to the cheap stuff that I used to get when I didn't have money. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like the way I'm feeling, right? And so this morning I had scheduled an appointment at the food bank, and I freaked. And for 2 seconds I had a flashback when I was working with a lady, with one of my clients, and she had told me, I'm too good for a food bank. I will never go there. I will never accept that help, right? And knowing that she had less money than me, I guess, really stuck in my head and my pride. And then today I was kind of thinking, well, I shouldn't be here. Like, I don't need this, right? Like, how much am I really going to save? Like, I shouldn't have spent my money foolishly. Like, I shouldn't be, you know, buying other things that I don't really need. But then I went anyway, and after I was done, like, my anxiety was on high. My heartbeat was beating. I couldn't breathe. I was sweating. Like, high anxiety. And I haven't felt that in about 3 months. And it wasn't a good feeling. And so it made me realize, too, that I still do have stuff to work on, right? And things to get over. And so I came home and I was doing some professional development, because that always helps me to feel better. And it wasn't really. And then I had to really just think about where I've came from and where I want to be. And I do not want to be in a position like I had been in the past, where I didn't even know where my next meal was going to come from, right? And I didn't know how I was going to pay for my car loan. Like, I do not ever want to be in that place. And I'm not one for asking for loans or to borrow money. Like, people have offered to help in so many ways, and I appreciate it 100%. But I'm being stubborn, and I have pride, and I'm not going to do it. If I absolutely have to, I'll do it. But I'm not. At this point, I'm a planner, I'm an organizer, and I'm determined, and I'm motivated. And I swear to you, God, by this time, next year, July 6th, 2016, I will be in a much, much, much better place, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. That is my promise to myself and to my family and to my friends and to you guys. And I hope that you'll be sticking around to see that happen and how it happens. And then we'll post again then. But this is me being vulnerable. I don't really open up. I don't really share. I don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. But I thought it was a really good idea to make a video to show you that, like, even as coaches, we're real people with real problems. And in the end, real results. So, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Regardless, I'm here for everyone in any way I can, and hopefully I can help you. And I am going to get back to the drawing board and get back to work and figure out how to make things quadruple times better. So I hope you have a good day, and we'll talk to you later.